Hey, so one of my exes came back. I hope you can learn something from it too. I finished university and I didn't know what I was gonna do in life, and I finished my degree and they weren't hiring, and through friend of a friend I just met up with this girl and she immediately invited me into her life, and we saw each other and I had an instant connection, and I was there for her and she was there for me, and we were young. I was like 23, I think. I was very young. And a lot was going on in my life, and I was working on my art portfolio and I was trying to get into a film studio or a game development studio, and there's many things that I wanted to do in life, and I was grinding and I was putting effort, and slowly but surely our relationship started decaying, and there was so many things that were wrong with it. One of them, I was extremely codependent emotionally and physically, and on the other hand she was absolutely avoidant, and she did not want to commit, and she said that she's never done it before like this to this extent. And I, as a person who does this a lot, I opened up my heart too much, and I really cared, and I really was sacrificing a lot to make it work, to be there, but it still wasn't working for various reasons, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And I started working a new job at a restaurant and I got promoted real quick, and I was going through hell and through 7 rings of hell, and I was working a lot. And by a lot I mean like 50 to 60 hours sometimes. I would have 12-hour shifts. I would wake up at 7, go to work, and come back at 10 freaking p.m. and going back to sleep and just do it all over again 6 times a week sometimes. It was a lot. It was so many things that were going on through that period of my time, and I would see her and then not see her, and she would disappear, and she would talk to me, not talk to me. She would be there for me, she wouldn't be there for me, and it would happen a lot. It was too much to bear emotionally because I really wanted to be around her, but it wasn't happening for different reasons. She wasn't as committed as I wanted her to be, or as I needed her to be, and we kept trying to make it work, and I kept trying to talk about it. I kept saying, hey, like, if this is how it's gonna go, like, I can't do this. And then every time she would disappear, and every time she would come back and say, hey, like, I know this is a lot, and I'm going through stuff, and I'm sorry, and I love you, and I want to make it work, and I'll be there, and I promise I'm gonna show up more. And it would happen multiple times, and every time it would be a little different, but the result was pretty much the same as her just gone in the abyss, and I'm there alone, soaking into my own emotions and trying to figure out, what am I doing wrong? What else do I need to fix? And in reality, I didn't need to fix anything. In reality, we were just not meant for each other. And I finally was so heartbroken and so hurt and so upset and so tired of it, and going through the job of working non-stop. I just didn't have literal physical energy to care. There's so many things that I was neglecting in my life. I was neglecting my health, my family, my friends, my emotions. I was stressed out all the time. I think I lost maybe like 10-15 pounds. I got a permanent health damage in my lower back because of how much I was on my feet all day. So that happened, and one day I was just like, I can't do this anymore, and I decided that I'm gonna break it out because I can't do this. And I wrote her a little text saying, you keep doing this and I can't keep up with this. I just can't. I physically cannot. And we stopped talking for a while, and I always obviously thinking about her and saying where she's at now. I wonder what she's doing. And a lot has happened after that. For 2 years, I did not see her. And when I say a lot has happened, I mean a lot has happened in 2 years. I moved in with a bipolar alcoholic roommate, which I didn't know was a thing. I had to break the lease after 4 months. I wasn't happy with my family situation, and so that's why I rushed into this roommate situation. Then I had to move back with one of my parents, and that was taking a huge toll on my mental health, and I couldn't do it. So I would bury myself with more work, because when I'm not home, it was the only time where I felt free and safe. And yeah, so I went through that. There was a lot of heavy things involved, like physical defense and attacks with my roommate situation, and I'm really sad it turned out that way. And there's many things that went through my life at that time. And one of the other things was also me pursuing my art career, which was a completely different, separate subject of my life that I pretty much dedicated my whole life to since I was 18. And I turned around 24, 25, and I moved in with this roommate, and I dedicated every single minute I had into a new career path. And I tried my best to transfer my skills that I've gathered from graphic design, game development, 3D modeling, like all of those things. AI was taking over, and I was like, you know what, maybe tattooing is gonna be the next thing. And I sacrificed so many things to try to do it, and I've tried to do apprenticeships, and I've tried to find tutorials, and I was doing homework, and I was still working like a crazy person, working myself to the bone. But when I come home, I would always try to put my effort into tattooing. And so I had to move out. I had to move back with my parent. I was also fired from the job that I was working at, 12 hours a day, because of management changes and corporate reasons. And a lot happened in one time. And my final hour was my tattooing apprenticeship fell through after half a year. I put a lot of effort into trying to be there, and I realized that in reality I was just not good enough. I've been painting and drawing for about 10 years, and I was not good enough. And my teachers said you can come back in maybe 3-4 years if you hone on your skill and all these other things. And I was at my tipping point. It was my last moment where I was like, this is it. Like, if this is not gonna go, I'm tired. And there's probably many things that you have experienced or you've put effort into. Maybe filmmaking, maybe it was writing, maybe it was gymnastics, dancing, whatever it is that you were pursuing. It feels like it was a part of you that you just could never let go, and you dedicated so many hours and such a huge chunk of your life to. Now it's so hard to let go, and I did. I think I haven't actually drawn anything to sit down and dedicate myself to a drawing session since that month happened with the tattoo apprenticeship. And in a weird way, I am happier now with my life, because I don't have to put myself into this pressure of trying to become an artist and make money from it or do anything with it. And I don't regret the time that I spent painting. But yeah, I gave up art. I was fired from my job. I moved out moved back to my parents, and I started a new job at a restaurant, and it was very tough. It was way better than I was doing before, but I really needed the money, and I wasn't making enough. And one of the ways is to get promoted to be a server. And for the longest time, I was not being promoted to be a server. For up to a year, I was just bussing tables, running food, and just doing what you gotta do to get promoted. And after some time, I was still not getting promoted. And I was upset with myself that they weren't offering it to me, and I was upset with my life, and I was scared that I'm gonna fail again. And I spoke to different people, and they all told me you just have to ask. You have to freaking ask. That's all you gotta do. If you ask and they say no, they can give you reasons as to why it's no. But I didn't want to do that because I was scared that what I'm gonna hear is not something I can process or something I can't fix. And I asked, and they said, you're doing fine. We're waiting for the next opening, and just keep grinding, and just be more friendly with the customers. That's all they said. I was, for 3 months straight, I was beating myself up, hoping that I would be promoted. All I had to do was ask. And that whole thing happened. So many things have happened in 2 years. And that's just tip of the iceberg, obviously. And then I met someone else who was also very, very important to me. And that year I thought I found my person. But unfortunately, after a couple of months, I should have seen it coming, but maybe I was just too in the clouds. So that was probably one of the hardest breakups I've had as well. I was very, very, very sad, and I got very depressed. And I got so depressed I couldn't work. And for 6 months I was sulking and being upset and sad and not being promoted, and all these things were happening. And then finally I just started working out. I started taking care of myself. I started pushing myself harder. I got promoted. I was still not over the situation. I think I'm emotionally still not processing it, but it is what it is. I can't do anything about it. All I can do is just to move forward. If I keep looking back, I wouldn't be in a great situation. And so that was happening, and now I'm in a better place than I've ever been in my life. And I finally moved out last month. And out of nowhere, I get a letter from the girl that from 5 years ago that I haven't seen for 2 years, reaching out to me and apologizing for what happened, apologizing for what she did, saying that she's not a good partner, and there's many things that she was doing that were hurting me, and yeah, overall just being a good, genuine human being. And a lot could be said about that, and one of those things is I replied the same day, and I said that I've said many things, and one of those things was I can't forgive you. I don't think I will ever be able to forgive through the torment and the emotional roller coaster that I've had to go through with that person. And it's not entirely their fault. I had to take accountability, and I think that's the biggest thing that I learned for the past 5 years is taking accountability, is you putting expectations on people and you wanting things to work this specific way that you really want to. It's fine, But when you get hurt not meeting those expectations and being upset about it and being the victim, maybe you are the victim, maybe you're 50% the victim, but if you keep seeing the same pattern and you keep seeing how things are not working out but you keep pursuing it, that's on me. That's completely on me, and I think I was not ready to accept that for the past 5 years until now. I'm emotionally vulnerable. I open up to people too quick. I connect with them too much. And I expect the same. It's a tall order. And some people might want that, and some people might say it's not fair. But meeting them in the middle it's a solid first choice. But regardless of whatever happened, she regrets it and she apologizes, and she didn't say she wants to be back in my life. I don't want her back in my life. And she's sad that she has other people that she has in life that she's satisfied with, and she doesn't need me, you know. Her career is flourishing, she's doing well, she's happy, she's seeing other people. We went to a bar, we grabbed drinks, and the worst part is that it felt like nothing ever happened. I'm the type of person who puts the effort into reconnecting and puts everything under the bridge, because some connections are special, and it was one of those connections. And it felt like 2 years didn't pass. Yes, we changed. Yes, I'm a different person. She's a different person. But that connection is unfortunately still there. I don't think I've ever opened up to someone to that extent before, and I don't think I will ever will. And we had a great time, and I drove her home, and we kissed. That's it. And spoke back and forth for a week, and we talked about what we feel and how we feel, and facts are facts. I kept romanticizing her presence in life because she's a great person and she makes me very happy. Emotionally and physically, she makes my world. But she is in a different stage of life, and I just don't fit there anymore. She has friends she built in 2 years. She has other partners that she's seeing in 2 years. She's built around 2 years. There's no space. There's no place for me. There's no space. If humans were a puzzle, she would be a complete puzzle. And no matter how great I am, or how great she is, or how compatible we are, there's no empty space where we can connect. And it's a really hard truth to accept, and a really hard part of me is obviously hoping that there's exceptions to the rules, or something is gonna hit different, or we're gonna put the effort and make it work. But I know that it's not long term, it's not gonna last. And so I saw her one more time on Thursday, which was maybe 5 days ago. And we hang out, and I made her breakfast, and we got coffee, and we walked around the neighborhood, and again, I was the happiest I've ever been in the past probably 4 or 5 years. It's really, really unfortunate, because it's so hard to let go of people like that. And I know that that's the right move, because I won't be able to be emotionally unattached. I know myself. I know that I will not be able to keep seeing her but not being romantically involved. I know that. And I know that I need to let go. And at the end of the day, that's crazy as it sounds, it's probably the best case scenario some of us can get. I think 90% of people would kill for an opportunity to have a closure like that with people, but I'm still not happy and I'm still want more. And I think that's what life is. I think that's just us drifting through space and connecting with each other, and sometimes those connections, they just don't last. Even if you want to, even if you both want to. Circumstances are different, and she's a completely different person now. She learned her mistakes and she went through all these changes in life, and she's doing great. And I'm really happy for her. I'm genuinely happy for her, and I just want to be a part of that. And I just want to be a part of all the different versions that she can become in her life and just be around it. But I know myself, and I know that I can't just stand there while she will be around other people. So today I have yet to send the final message about what I feel and what I think we should do, because we saw each other and then she went on vacation for 2 weeks, and we said we're going to talk about it when she gets back. And for the past 3 days I've been thinking about every single thing that ever happened, and it's really beautiful, and it's really sad that things are the way they are. But sometimes you have to let go.